Well, thanks for joining us this afternoon as we continue our winter storm coverage right here on WTOC Plus and the WTOC Facebook page. And if you're watching on Facebook, if you have any questions for our meteorologist, Dylan Smith, feel free to leave them in the comments. I'll be checking them every couple minutes. We're getting a couple of hellos. I should note that since we last started speaking with you, Dylan, we have started to see some snowfall across our viewing area. So I guess what's the latest? What are we expecting? What are we tracking here at WTOC?
Well, it's with most snow events, it's one of those hurry up and wait, get everything together so that you can be prepared for when it starts. And now we're just in the event, waiting for it to continue pushing across the area. All this coming in from areas of east to north Georgia, just now pushing into parts of Jenkins County, also into parts of Toombs County, out there towards Vidalia, towards Montgomery County as well. Notice in parts of Statesboro, the majority of the eastern half of the county there, still seeing rain. We're still getting that converging colder air coming in. But temperatures up in Swainsboro, where we are getting some of the heavier snow bands right now, still looking at freezing. So should start seeing a little bit of that accumulation starting to stick here as we go into the next couple of hours. Along with this, lots of gusty winds coming in, up to 25 miles per hour for some of our inland areas where they are seeing the snow. It's going to make it incredibly hard to drive out there. Not recommended anybody be out on the roads, because once you also take those into account, it feels like it's in the lower 20s right now in Swainsboro. So heaviest winds, heaviest snow, and the coldest temperatures up there right now. Here in Savannah, we're going to look for those increasing precipitation chances through probably about 6 to 9 o'clock. Then they'll start slowing back down as we go from there closer to midnight. Temperatures continuing to cool during this time. And some of these spots where you see that deepest of purple, that's where you could see some of those heavier snow bands. That's where that plus sign is when we talk about our snow totals. That's the uncertainty of some of the area. It's not a whole scale event, but areas that do get those heavier snow bands could see a higher accumulation by about an inch more maybe at times than some of the areas that don't. All of this pushes its way out as we get closer to midnight, but pretty much what we're going to be expecting is quickly falling snow, windy conditions like we talked about, the scattered snow showers mostly north of I-16, anywhere in that dark blue area, 1 to 2 plus inches. Higher accumulation expected the farther north you are across the area. How the snow ends around 2 or midnight, but still could see some of those slick roads going into tomorrow. And it's going to be a bottom layer of slickness underneath some of the snow that's still left over. So extreme caution if you have to be on the roads tomorrow. It'll be worse the farther north you are. Definitely going to be some spotty slick spots though. And we'll be tracking temperatures in the mid to upper teens. Once you add in that 12-mile-an-hour wind speed, it's going to feel like it's in the single digits. This is why we're telling everybody, once this started happening, it's time to stay indoors, stay in with the family, get you a good movie to watch or watch WTOC as you talked about. And make sure that you're prepared and keeping everything orderly around your household. You're not going to want to forget about your pets, plants, and pipes. If you can't bring those pets out of the elements, or at least completely out of the elements, just get them a place where they can get out of the wind, out of the worst of it, and give them some extra food. But that's what you want to take into account as we head into tonight. Don't forget to let those pipes drip, and also open up the cabinet so that they can get warm air to them. As we go throughout the day tomorrow, it's a lot of sunny but windy conditions as temperatures stay on the cooler side. 5 degrees is what it'll feel like at 7 a.m., 26 at the warmest time of the day as we head into the afternoon. So high temperatures only warming into the upper 30s to lower 40s. Whatever we do see for melting out there is going to be key. The wind should help with that. The sun should help a little bit, but whatever doesn't melt and you see any wet spots tomorrow evening, by the time we get past 8 to 9 o'clock, we're already back below freezing. As we go into the evening hours, upper 20s by midnight, and that's going to kick off another first alert weather day as we go into the start of next week before warmer temperatures and even some rain come back by the midweek.
And that is a good thing to note, Dylan, because once we get past midnight tonight, once the snow stops falling, we're not necessarily out of the clear with these cold temperatures. If you have students who are going to class Monday morning, you want to make sure they're really bundled up, make sure they're wearing gloves, multiple layers, because with the wind chill, with those lows, it's going to be, it could potentially be dangerous. Like, you want to make sure your kids are warm.
Oh, no, definitely. Still could be feels like conditions, 20s to teens as we head into Monday, but it's not single digits like it is tomorrow. I would categorize tomorrow as the dangerous cold. Monday, extreme cold. As long as you're prepared for it, you should be all right.
Awesome. Dylan, I've got a quick science question for you.
Oh, gosh, here we go.
I didn't brief you on this, but, we're looking at this snow band coming in through the I-16. I'm curious, what causes, like, a snow band? snow to hit a certain area versus not like just encompass
the amount of moisture around it, where it can,
Okay.
where it's in what we call the dehydrated growth stage, which is basically where you have ice crystals that can grow rapidly because they're super cool liquid that anytime they touch each other, it causes them to freeze. Kind of like how freezing fog works when we get that a few times. But you're just in an area where there's an abundance of moisture, there's an abundance of the cold air, and so that process is going to expand. And where you get the heavier stuff is where you're going to see the higher amounts of accumulation. So it's the same concept as when we talk about it with like thunderstorms, when we say, hey, you can see that orange and red, that's that heavy rainfall that's coming through. Same concept. This is just in a snow band. And so the fact of the matter is, with that, it makes it much less predictable to call. Now, if we're saying that models are looking at a good chance of seeing some heavier snow bands, that's what we're going to tell you. But it's a lot different than timing out rain because it's so light and fluffy, it can fly around so many different places. And it's a much more delicate process.
It's always interesting looking at that radar and seeing, some areas get it harder, some areas get it weaker. But, just seeing a certain band come in.
Oh, yeah.
Always interesting. And I should note, I've been checking the the Facebook comments. We were talking about some of the areas we're seeing flurries. We actually do have a camera on the GSU campus. We're seeing a little bit right now. It's not sticking, but I also wanted to just flip through the Facebook comments. We're hearing about snow in Effingham, snow in Hazelhurst, Metter.
Yep.
Yeah, so a handful of different areas, of course, and we're expecting that to continue moving east, snow in Vidalia as well. We don't think it's sticking anywhere right now.
I would say the only place I could see sticking actually happening is up towards the Swainsboro area. That's where they're already looking at those areas up towards Jenkins, Screven County. You're already getting close to being below freezing for your surface temperatures.
I see. And this is something, we are monitoring. We do have the increased coverage here on WTOC Plus. If we want to go back to your forecast page.
Getting us back to where we're looking at the current radar. Give me just a second, guys. Oop, all right, and should be right there. So here's what you were talking about. And as you see up in Swainsboro, where that 32's at, already seeing freezing conditions there. They're right there on the cusp of it over in Sylvania. So anywhere between there, meaning all of Jenkins County, going to already expect it to be right around that point. They're just now getting to freezing in Statesboro, so we should see that converting over to snow here soon. And then we're also seeing more of that over towards Vidalia. I know we got lots of reports of snow coming in there. I'm not sure how much of it's actually sticking yet. Just because temperatures are still slightly above freezing, but grassy areas, some spots like that definitely could. It'll be the pavements that take a little bit longer to start seeing that accumulation happening, but once they do, they'll also build up the quickest too. So just lots of stuff to keep in mind. It'll be a winter wonderland for a lot of the area. Not recommending everybody go travel to that winter wonderland, but if you're there, be sure to enjoy it and send us some pictures. We want to see them.
Yeah, absolutely. Even just in the last couple minutes, hearing about snow in Claxton. Justin said they're getting snow in Guyton as well. And if you do have pictures or videos, you can always email those to us, news@WTOC.com. You could make it right here on our Facebook or the broadcast. I should also note that we have crews heading out to these different areas across the coastal empire.
Doesn't mean you should.
Now.
We'll let you know what's going on out there. That's why we're sending them.
That's our job. That's why we're professionals. Stay inside if you can, because the roads will be getting slick. We'll talk about that in a moment. But we are going to continue our hourly updates here on WTOC Plus and Facebook with the latest forecasts with Dylan, and our reporters will be joining us live, hopefully in the next show once they are able to get to these spots where we're seeing snow impacts. And speaking about snow across the region, it hit north and middle Georgia earlier today. And wanted to show you a story from Mary Kate Hamilton with our sister station in Atlanta, who went out to Hall County with a little bit more on how you mentioned it's kind of turning into a winter wonderland. Take a look.
In downtown Gainesville, plenty of Northeast Georgians are enjoying a rare snowy Saturday, flocking to the downtown square to see it. Kids, some seeing snow for the very first time, took their parents by the hand and encouraged them to enjoy the winter wonderland downtown had become. An entire family fit on a sled led by Dad, and there was even enough snow for one couple to build their very own snowman. One dad came all the way from Alabama so that his daughter could see the snow for herself.
I mean, I didn't want to come out to see it for myself. It's really all about her. And just, she didn't give me any opportunities down in central Alabama, so 2 to 3 inches, dry snow, seemed like a good time.
What are you going to tell your friends back in Alabama?
That in Atlanta it was really fun to see the snow.
And if you are enjoying the snow, please do so safely. The Hall County Sheriff says they have seen some accidents on the road due to reckless driving, so please drive with caution. Reporting in downtown Gainesville, Mary Kate Hamilton, Atlanta News First.
And staying in North Georgia, the snow's created dangerous driving conditions in many different areas, including this footage out of Forsyth County where some roads are absolutely blanketed in snow. Now, crews are working to clear the roads. However, Mother Nature, as you can see in that video, isn't done quite yet. You can see these cameras that captured a car trying to make it up a hilly roadway, only to, as you can see, start sliding back down. Several agencies across the area are advising everyone to stay off the roads if you don't need to step out. And because of the snow heading our way, drivers are being urged to stay off the roads or at least be very careful if you do have to drive. The best practices for winter weather start before any snow or sleet falls. You'll want to use good judgment when hitting the road and make sure you have good tires. The tread should be visible and not smooth on your tires. Once on the road, you'll want to go slower than normal. Another tip is to keep a good distance between other cars. It's recommended about 6 to 8 cars or 6 to 8 seconds of a distance. And if you do find yourself sliding, you'll want to hold the car steady. Don't press the brakes and don't panic because it can certainly be scary behind the wheel. I'll tell you a fun little story right now. I've been here at WTOC for, about 6 months now. Hard to believe. And before that, I spent a couple of years as a reporter and anchor in Boise, Idaho, and we'd get a lot of snow. We could get 4, 5, 6 inches in a day, and I was never the most comfortable with driving in it. So on the days where I would go into work and do snow coverage, I would lace up my boots and jog about 6 miles to work because I wanted to stay off the roads because just whenever you get snow, it becomes a mess. So just be careful if you do plan on hitting the roads. But of course, best advice right now as we do see snow start to move in, stay off the roads if you're able to. All right. And as we do face really cold temperatures as well ahead of this, cold winter storm, many people are also looking for ways to stay warm. The Burton Fire District says to make sure that if you use a space heater or any other type of heating source, make sure it's 3 feet away from anything else in your home. You'll want to make sure that the heater's not near anything flammable like a blanket or clothes, and that you don't put flammable things on top of the heater. Another thing the department stresses is making sure that you don't plug that heater or heating source into an extension cord. Instead, you want to plug it directly into the wall.
Well, the fire risks we have are going to be people heating their homes. Like we said, plug in a space heater into an extension cord. The extension cords are not permanent wiring, so it's not designed to carry electricity like that.
And if you have any questions about possible fire dangers, you can always give your local fire department a call. That's one of the jobs and one of the reasons they're there for you as well. I should note the space heater thing has really been an issue the last month or so. Here at WTOC, we've covered easily half a dozen fires that started from a space heater being plugged into an extension cord. They're just not designed to handle that wattage. So if you're using one to stay warm this weekend, plug it directly into the wall. Keep you and your family safe and keep your house standing. All right, well, with the winter weather also comes the potential of losing power. Good news, since we're seeing the powdery snow, the likelihood of that isn't quite as high, but we still want to talk about ways you can prepare a winter weather emergency kit with things like batteries, flashlights, canned food, even a board game to keep your family occupied. We spoke to the director of SEMA for more tips.
But we encourage people to have an emergency kit year-round. This is something that you can put into a Tupperware container, throw it in your closet. That way you have all the provisions of your family.
All right, and one more thing we wanted to show you here on WTOC Plus. This is a look at our website right now. You can see our latest forecast. It's pinned to our home screen. It's updating, once our forecasters get a new model. We also want to show you these things on the side of our website. We have a couple of lists here for things like warming shelters across the region, as well as how, schools are monitoring temperatures this week. It's impacted some extracurricular things over the weekend. No cancellations yet for Monday. But if you have questions about, what's going on at your local school district, if you have questions about warming shelters, we have this all just pinned on our website right now on WTOC for the latest. We are updating it throughout the day. And with that, I do want to check our Facebook comments real quick. We're hearing about flurries in Beaufort, Flurries between Glenville and Reedsville from Stephanie. Baxley, Hazelhurst, snowflakes falling in Claxton from Nancy. Flurries in Telfair County from Martha. We appreciate y'all letting us know about where you're seeing it. We're sending out our crews as well. And again, if you get any pictures or videos of the snow falling, you can email that to us at news@wtoc.com. We'd love to put it in our broadcasts or on our Facebook page this afternoon. And with that, one more reminder about the extended coverage we're doing here throughout the day on WTOC Plus and the WTOC Facebook. Every hour on the hour, we'll be right here on Facebook and on WTOC Plus with the latest forecasts. We had Dave for a couple of shows this morning. We've had Dylan lately. And again, we do have crews heading out into the fields right now. I've seen a couple walking past our newsroom because we've got a window right outside the WTOC Plus studio. They're heading out right now. We'll be joined live by a couple of them throughout these afternoon updates, and you can always check our website for the latest. I'd like to thank you all for watching, and we'll be back in about 40 minutes on WTOC Plus and the WTOC Facebook.